Hi guys, this is Harris Sultan, the ex-Muslim atheist, and welcome to another episode of Sultan's House of Sin. All right, so I see some people sitting in the chat and asking what's going to be today's topic. Well, this is a free-flowing chat. There is no topic. People are welcome to come and go, and then they can, take part in the conversation. Um, I wanted to. So what I do in my Urdu stream, I start usually with some comedy hadiths, and then someone recommended that we should also expose the blue lies of some Muslims. Um, you all know what white lies are. White lies are something that are harmless. You just say it out. You just say whatever you want to say, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone or it doesn't have any negative consequences. So that's called a white lie. But a blue lie is a lie when people tell in order to propagate their belief, which they believe are true. For example, associating things with their country, like, oh, my country did this and that, and even though they know they didn't do it, or lying about their history, even though they know that the history that might not be true, but they say, okay, well, we're doing it for the good of the community, for the good of the people. So those are called blue lies, and unfortunately, uh, people lie about their nationalities, people lie about their history, but people also lie about their religions. Now, that's a major concern, especially amongst Muslims, because uh, there are a lot of propaganda channels, Facebook pages, propaganda channel. In this age of information, these people take full advantage of these of this tool to propagate their views, knowing full well their lies. So I'm gonna do this. I'll try to do this every week, and show you and maybe prepare you, especially those gullible white people who don't know. We see Muslims are obsessed with converting white people to Islam, and they say, hey, you don't see the same kind of attention towards Asian people like Japanese or Chinese. But when a white person, when a blue-eyed, white-skinned guy, or especially a woman, converts to Islam, they're like, hey, look, even these folks are accepting Islam, and you know it must be true. So how they do it? They actually tell a lot of lies about their religion. They tell you all the good things about their religion. They say, "Oh, Prophet Muhammad was this and that," and they ignore all the bad bits. In fact, there was a video I couldn't find it again. There was a video where this cleric, or probably one of the Dawa guys in England, not the Dawa guys, but just in general. There was a video where he was saying that, okay, when you approach a white woman, just don't tell her about the wife beating worse, or multiple wives worse, or the inheritance is half, or the intelligence is half of that of a man. Don't tell them those things now, because they won't understand. They're coming from a free liberal Western frame of mind, so they won't understand it. So that's what they, you know, that's how they propagate it. Give me a second. There's a guest who's meant to come, and he's trying to call me in my live stream. So I'm just gonna try to message him. He wants to do a sound check. There's no need to do any checks. Just click on the link. He thinks that, doesn't matter. All right. Okay. So going back to it. So the blue lies of Muslims. So there's one such blue lie that I'm going to show you today. And these people do it on purpose, and they say, okay, well, these guys are not going to get it because we're going to just openly lie to them. So here's one such lie where this Facebook page is saying and quoting Sahih Muslim hadith and saying, verily, I was not sent to invoke curses, but rather I was only sent as a mercy. So Prophet Muhammad was sent as a mercy to the world. He doesn't invoke curses. And a lot of white folks would be wondering, you might have all heard a word lanat. Now, lanat is a curse, and I think by curses here he doesn't mean you mother, you mofo, like all those kind of typical curses, swearing. This is a special curse tailor-made by Muslims. It's called lanat. Now, lanat is a curse, and a lot of Muslims love to give it. This is their intercontinental ballistic missile. They just say lanat. If they don't like something, lanat. If they don't like your face, lanat. If you say something that is not in compliance with their worldview, lanat. So that's what they do, and they've learned it from the Prophet Muhammad himself. Now, this is excuse me. Now, this is a one such post where people are actually fooled by them. That, hey, we were only sent. I was only sent as a mercy. I don't even invoke curses. But let's have a look how true this hadith is in light of some other hadiths. So look at this one. So here it says, this is a Sahih hadith of Sunan Abi Dawud. It says, the messenger of Allah cursed the man who dressed like a woman and the woman who dresses like a man. So, cross dresses. So maybe transgenders as well. There is a weak rawaya where actually does say that Muhammad probably used to wear Aisha's clothes as well, but we're not going to go into that for now because that requires a whole different avenue. But this is what it is, so that's just one such example where Messenger of Allah is actually cursing people. But that doesn't stop there. So let's have a look at a few others. Now here's another one. This is Sahih al-Bukhari's hadith. Allah's messenger has cursed such a lady as artificially lengthening her hair or gets her hair lengthened. So all you modern girls, hijabi girls, all those modern Muslim girls, if you use hair extensions, if you wear a wig, curse on you. Your prophet is cursing on you. That is something. But let's have a look. It doesn't end there. There got to be a few more curses. Indeed, the messenger of Allah has cursed the women who visit the graves. So, not only men don't get cursed for going to the grave, women do. You women, you're not allowed to go to graves. Otherwise, Prophet of Allah is actually cursing you. But this is how beautiful this is. All right, so let's have a look at the other one. Now here's Allah's messenger cursed those men who are in similitude, assume the manners of women, and those women who are in the similitude, assuming the manners of men. So I think here it's not about dressing; it's just mannerism. So if you act a little bit, oh my God, even then Allah curses you. Oh, not Allah. Allah's messenger curses you. So that's quite amazing, isn't it? And let's have a look at the final one. May Allah curse be, now this is Allah's messenger saying, may Allah's curse be on the Jews, for they built the places of worship at the graves of the Prophet. So here, Prophet Muhammad, as usual, showing his disgust at the Jews because they're not believing in Muhammad. Now that's where he's cursing them. So you see, now that's just a few examples. And there are plenty of places in the Quran itself where Allah is cursing a lot of people. Different types of people: Jews, women, men, atheists, polytheists, all kinds of people. It's not only just Messenger of Allah is cursing, and Messenger of Allah obviously would have uttered a lot more words than there are in the Quran. So he obviously would have cursed a lot more than what we actually have the records of. So these are the lies that people talk about. Muslims, especially Muslim propagandists, talk about, and they say, oh, he was Rahmatul Alameen, meaning he was a mercy for all mankind or humankind, and he was just all love, and he was just merciful, and he doesn't even curse. But their own records show how much he used to curse. He was he would curse at everything. So Anyway, so that was it. That was the first part. Um, Now let's have a look. Now I'm gonna have a look. I have nothing. I have, but nothing happened. What shall I do? Nothing happened. What the hell, man? How hard could it be? Here, click on it. Are you on a computer? Just click on this link. How could it be, man? Sorry, I'm doing a live troubleshooting with this person who wants to debate with me. Um, and I've sent him a link, like this StreamYard link that I paste for everyone, and everyone just comes. All right. Okay, if it doesn't come in 5 seconds, then I'm gonna paste it for other people. All right, so someone says, Aris, why is alcohol banned in Islam, whereas in Jannah, wine is a privilege? I don't think it's actually even a privilege. It's just free for all. Everyone will have it. So, that's just one of those things where um, some people like to fool others and they say, okay, you can do this. Now, can people watch this on Pakistani Mulhid channel? Can someone tell me? All right. Oh God, just click enter the studio. There he is. Okay. All right. So I've got a gentleman here. I think he's. I'm not very familiar with his work, but I think he's made a documentary or something or a film. And um, I saw some of his Facebook posts. So he doesn't like Bukhari. So I'm not familiar with his work at all. So I don't know which angle he's going to come from. So I'm just going to take him on. His name is Mushtaba. Mushtaba G. How are you? I can't. Oh, why is his camera not working? Okay, there he is. Hello, Mushtaba. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello. Hi.
Hi. So very, very good. So I'm not sure. Yeah. Anyway, so I was just talking about you, who you are. I don't really know much about you, but I know you've made a documentary film or something, and uh,
It's
us
a,
looking at your posts, it seems like you like to do what we like to do, make fun of Bukhari.
no.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Like what background do you come from, and what part of Islam do you feel is the right one?
Yes. I'm a former apostate, if you can say that. And at the age of 25, I started to think if God exists or doesn't exist, and then I came to this conclusion that He doesn't exist. And obviously, it was lack of knowledge because later, when I got better knowledge, I realized that I was wrong. And I found out that Islam is the solution to all our problems. So I converted to Islam. And for me, is uh, doesn't matter that if God exists or doesn't exist. For me, it doesn't matter if Muhammad was his prophet or he wasn't his prophet. For me, the most important is the message that he has left and how this Almighty God can guide us out of the jungle we are living in and save us from our problems we are facing on this planet. So obviously, I don't make fun of Bukhari, but I believe that many of his hadiths are fabricated because they are not in line with Quran. And I've asked many of Bukhari believers to have a debate with me, but unfortunately they reject because they know that they are, most of them say, I'm not a scholar, and they know that they are wrong themselves. Anyway, so I disagree with many of his hadiths. That's not I'm making fun of him. I don't believe that he all of his hadiths
All right, can you speak up a little bit because your voice is apparently very low?
Mhm. Yes, I don't believe that all of his hadiths are authentic. There must be some authentic hadiths, but
All right, I think
hello, hi.
yeah, breaking up there. Okay, so so were you actually born a Muslim? Were you born a Muslim?
Sorry, I cannot say that I was born a Muslim because I believe that you are not. Just when something happened to my computer. Sorry.
What I mean to say, obviously, no one is born a Muslim. Everyone's born an atheist, clean slate. But what I meant to ask was, were your parents Muslim?
Yes, but just a second. I will start something again because something happened. I brought the computer closer to me, and then something happened. Anyway, I don't believe that you can be born to a belief. Okay?
No, you're born into a religion. It depends on your family,
I
obviously.
was born to a Muslim family. Okay, not to a religion. You cannot be born to a way of life. You have to choose it. That's the
No, not really, because a 5-year-old child, no, because 5-year-old child doesn't decide that whether he's going to go to school or not. His parents set that standard for him, just like that their parents set the religion for them as well. So yes, so that's what we mean when we say you're born into something. Yeah, so you were born in a Muslim family. You were a Muslim, and then at 25 years of age, you left Islam, and then you found Islam. So you know what's interesting for me whenever someone says that. First part that I always notice is that they always find the religion of they were born into. They always find that one to be true out of 1,000 others. So okay, all right, I'll ignore that part. But then, secondly, what's more interesting to me is that what exactly did they find that convinced them that, oh, that's it. That's what I didn't. All these atheists don't see. I found that, therefore I'm a Muslim again. So tell me a little bit about that. What was it that you found that you said, okay, this is it?
Yes, as I said that you are also wrong, and many people are wrong about religion and God. For me, if God cannot save us from our problems, if he cannot guide us to a better world, then it's not worth to worship him or follow him. So I better follow a prime minister or a politician to get rid of our problems. But I found that Islam has the solution to every single problem we are facing on this planet. Okay, and
Really?
that's why I converted to Islam. So that's the most important thing.
So did you read Bibles? Did you read all the versions of the Bible?
No, I haven't read the Bible all the way, but I know a little bit of them. And
so how do you know the message of Bible is not the solution to all the problems?
Yeah, because everything that is in Quran, okay, shows that it is a very, very deep discussion. Okay, first of all, you have to know what is the source of our problems. Okay.
No. That's not the answer to my question. I'm asking you. So it's a very simple, straightforward question. Okay, I get it that you understand the Quran, you've read Quran cover to cover, and you've understood every single word. Okay, but I'm saying, how do you? And you make a claim. Oh, there it is. All the problems, solution to the world's problem, are in that book. But you haven't even read Bible. I haven't even started about Hindu literature. Have you read the Gitas, the Bhagavad Gitas? Have you read them? Have you studied the Aboriginal culture? Have you studied the Latin American culture? So
Yes.
the point I'm arriving at is, okay, there's a strong reason for all the skeptics to believe that you had the emotional connection with Islam because you were born into it, and that's why you just found that religion to be the true one.
No, the thing is that the movie I made also, if you had watched it, it is about going around and learn about different religion. Okay, and at the end, I found, in reality, when I realized, I learned a little bit about Hinduism, I realized that God exists. Okay, because for me, Hinduism was mostly imagination of people, and Hinduism, and then Mayans religion and paganism in reality in whole. They were imagination of people because it doesn't match science at all. But the Abrahamic religion, they match science in many ways, especially Quran. So
I
that's
don't
why
think. Well, there's a lot of Hindu texts. There are a lot of Hindus who actually show a lot of scientific verses from Gitas as well,
can you please
from
point
Rig
out
Vedas
one
as
of them?
well.
Can you point
Well,
one of them?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to talk about, because I'm not a Hindu. My point is,
No,
and I can
let me
talk
tell you.
about. No, no, no.
Let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing about science, okay? Science says that there is an end to this world, okay? There is two different theory how it ends, okay? But there is an end to this world. And the Abrahamic religion says that there is an end to this world, okay? And
There's a
then,
judgment there in pretty much a lot of cultures. Judgment at the
no,
end of the world is in a lot of cultures.
no, but there is an end to this world, and Hinduism believe in reincarnation. And when you ask them how long, they say forever. There is no end for reincarnation. Okay.
There are some Hindus. Can anyone confirm that? Because I know there's reincarnation, but it doesn't mean that they don't believe in the end of the world. There would be an end of this world. And when you talk about the end, so let's not go to Hinduism, because they said I'm not an expert in that. But let's just
Okay.
stick to Islam. So
Okay.
when you say Islam, so you haven't studied Bible just for the record, but you have found that Islam has all the solution. Now, I want to understand, when you interpret Quran, what are your other sources? Because you obviously don't believe in Bukhari. Do you believe in Sahih Muslim? Do you believe in
No,
Tirmidhi? Do you?
I mean,
Okay, so you don't believe in Hadith. So how? So
no,
so 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 you just read the Quran itself and then you make the meaning out of it.
no. I say I believe in hadith, okay, but I don't believe in most of their hadiths are stories and fabricated, okay. But I believe in hadiths, okay, hadiths that explain Quranic rules, okay. For example, uh, hadith that says that apostate must be killed, okay, by Bukhari. That hadith doesn't match Quran, because Quran says that their judgment is by Allah, not by people. People have no right to judge or punish anybody, especially apostate. Or Bukhari says that adulterer must be killed, stoned to death. Okay, but Quran doesn't say that at all. So it goes to contradiction to Quran. That's why you have to reject such a hadiths, fabricated hadiths, because Bukhari even suggests that Quran is incomplete, because he says in hadith that these verses of stoning was there, but somehow didn't come in Quran. And then
Yeah, because the goat ate it.
you have heard that he says that Umar says that, oh, I'm afraid that later people forget it, because it is not in Quran, but it was there, So this is it makes
A lie.
Quran incomplete according to Bukhari.
Yes, it is
Yes.
incomplete. So because it was narrated afterwards, and how basically your criterion is, if it doesn't make sense, you don't like it, you throw it away. So okay, fair enough. Just I love to throw this one particular verse to a lot of people. Because people who like to interpret it their own way. It says that indeed the penalty for those who wage war against Allah and His Messenger and strive upon earth to cause corruption is none but that they be killed or crucified, or that their hands and feet be cut off from opposite ends, or that they be exiled from the land. This is for them a disgrace in this world, and for them in the hereafter and a great punishment. So tell me, under what context hands and feet of people or the enemy combatants should be cut off?
Okay, this is obviously in the war. There is a propaganda as well. So this was a propaganda war, and this was just during war, during battle, and never happened. Okay, when we
So you cut so you cut off so in a war you cut off hands and feet at opposite ends. This is not in a combat.
yes, listen
It
to me.
doesn't.
Listen to
No,
me.
hang on. No.
Yeah,
You listen to me first. So let me make my point first. So
yes.
I've heard this argument, and I know what you will say, but before that, so it saves a lot of time. When you cut off hands and feet at opposite ends, you're actually doing that on purpose. You're actually torturing someone. You're putting them down and then doing it. In a war, yes, hands and feet get cut off. You hit someone. You put a knife and whatever that happens. We understand that, but cutting them at opposite ends, hands and feet. So right hand, left foot, left hand, right foot. That's what it means. How do you do that in the actual war? That when you're actually fighting with someone and then you say, okay, let's do it. There you go.
I mean, this is fight. Yeah? In the fight, you have sword, and he said that how to fight them. Okay, listen to me. This is something that I think you have to be in that situation. Okay, in the situation of war. Let's say, as I said, let's say that Muhammad, God comes here now and tell you that I exist and Muhammad is my prophet. Okay, will you follow if God show you all miracles? Okay, will you follow Islam?
Oh
I'm
yeah,
asking.
if it makes sense, yes, I would say okay.
But why should you do that? Tell me, why should you follow a God that cannot save you from all these problems you are facing on this planet? Let me see, Brother Harris. Let's put Islam beside, okay? Let's put all religion beside and leave them, okay? What you gonna do with prostitution, drugs, war, corruption, all these problems that exist on this planet? Can you please tell me where is the source of all these problems?
Well, they come from human desires and human behaviors, and that result in problems. We know that. That's why we debate about these things. We make laws, and
Yes.
laws are the only thing that actually stop problems. Now, historically, if you look at our human history, we're in a better place than we've ever been. Some people argue that maybe before the farming revolution, humans, yes, lived a shorter amount of time, and there were more leisure than there was work. But then when the work was really hard, so you have to go and be a hunter gatherer, and you could get killed hunting big game. But we don't have any exclusive data for it. But especially after farming, when people started living in cities and the larger groups, human life has been miserable for at least 10, 15,000, or at least since the end of the last ice age. So now we're living better. We have more food. 50% of the world's population, the poverty has been reduced to 50% when it has been 99% throughout human history, especially recorded history. And we're living better. Our lives are better because we've had this thing called government. We've had this thing called debates. And then we talk about it, and the scientific revolution. So these are natural problems. Lions are still getting killed on the African savannah by each other. The deers are getting killed because they don't have this intellectual revolution yet. They don't sit down and then talk, okay, this is our problem, let's work out a solution. So that's what humans do, and that's what we've done historically, and it's working, and it's going to keep working. We have reduced poverty, as I said. We're reducing diseases. We're increasing human lifespan, and we're living in better houses. We're more comfortable. Life is better than what it always has been, not because of religions, but because of human intellect, human intuition. That's what made it better, and it will keep going.
Okay, but there is a, Mr. Harris, there is a source for every single problems we are facing on this planet, and as long as we don't deal with that source, okay, we will always have this problem. Okay, so tell me, prostitution, drugs, and then corruption, war, all these problems, from where comes all these problems? What do
Well,
you think?
I've already said it. It because it's human. These are human-made problems. There could be human greed behind it. There could be human
No,
desires
but
behind it. Those are the
yes,
things. Those are
but
the
you are,
things that cause it.
Mr. Harris, Mr. Harris, you are living in a in 21st century, okay? So you have to be more educated, and that it could, you have to know the real
No,
source.
I
Let,
know
let me,
the real source. I know the real source.
can you tell me the
Human.
real source?
No, no, no. No, because you asked me multiple questions. That's what I'm saying. For different things, there are different reasons. For prostitution, for instance, it could be a financial problem that a woman becomes a prostitute, or maybe she wants a better lifestyle because in countries like Australia, prostitution is legal and is highly regulated, and women are free if they want to be prostitutes. They can be free. Now, there's a market for it. There's a desire in men. So when I say desires, so there's a desire in a man that he wants to have just a sexual relationship with someone, and hence there's prostitution. I don't even view prostitution as a bad thing. Okay, now you want to
Okay,
talk about drugs. Okay, so that's also because of human desire. There's a human mind that requires something, and they find something, and they find something addictive. And those things have always existed, like in a more primitive form, like gambling is addictive, alcohol can be addictive for certain people. So human desires are behind all of these things. These are human-made problems, and they will be solved by human intellect.
okay. Now, Abrahamic religion says that the source of all this problem is one, Satan. Okay, you have heard about that.
Right. So
Yeah.
so so that
Now
so
let okay. Now let me tell
Satan.
you. Okay, let me tell you. Now, who is the Satan? Okay, uh, who is the real Satan? Uh, why a woman sell her body? Because she want to get money. Am I right?
Yes, possibly.
Why?
Or maybe
Why?
maybe she likes the fact that she can get laid and she can also get paid.
Okay, no. Let me see. In general, uh, why farmers of Afghanistan they produce 90% of the total opium of the world because they can sell it more. Am I right? Because
Weak law and order. Weak weak
they
law
sell
and order.
sorry,
Weak law and order.
they sell opium, a kilo opium, hundreds of dollars, when they cannot sell a kilo of potatoes or tomatoes for
Weak.
10 cents.
Yeah,
Okay.
but weak. No, but that's because of weak law and order. So, I mean, if I can't earn an honest living, that doesn't mean that I should go out and start stealing because, hey, look, I tried, but I only work $15 an hour. That's not enough, but I can rob that old woman and I can get $1,000 for the day. So that's not an excuse that because they can't do that, that's why, and that's been caused by Satan. These are
No,
human desires. These are human problems
no,
caused
no.
by human desires. How do
No.
you prove that Satan is making you do it? How do you
Me-
prove
me-
it?
yeah, Mr. Harris, let me explain for you. I said that Satan is the source, but I'm going to locate who is the Satan for you. Okay. And they do it because they can sell it much more expensive. Okay. I mean, they can sell
You see,
drugs.
this is a circular logic. I mean, we've heard these kind of argument about the Satan. So how do we make a jump that Satan is the one who's making you do it? I've given you a reason. How do you
Okay, let me
refute my
okay.
reason? How do
Let
you
me tell
refute
you.
my reason when I say it's a human desire that makes you do it?
Okay,
A
okay.
greed is a human desire.
Yeah, let me tell you one thing. Okay, let me explain for you in this way, Mr. Harris. Imagine that you are uh, a grocery keeper, okay, and I'm hungry. I come to your store and steal some food, okay. Abrahamic religion says that Satan fooled me, okay. That's what Abrahamic religion says. Now imagine, that you have a grocery, that you are working in a grocery in a world where grocery doesn't belong to you, money doesn't exist, okay? And I come to your grocery, the grocery that you're working, I take whatever I want and I say, thank you, brother Harris, God bless you, and I go, okay? Was there any human desire or anything in the second picture? In the first picture, because money existed, okay, I came and stole because I needed, okay? In a world where you can, gather billions of dollars, Mr. Harris, okay, and you can sell drugs to become rich. You can sell
Yeah,
your
but there was a
body.
human desire. But there was a human
No,
desire in
no,
both
listen to
cases.
me, Mr.
No, but
Harris.
you asked me a question. You asked me a
Listen
question.
to
Let
me.
me answer that.
Yes, let me. Okay,
But I think you've
I
already
answer.
given an answer. You asked me a
Yeah.
question, but you've given yourself an answer. I'm saying there's a human desire in both of these things because human body requires food. That's a
Okay.
human desire. It's a human
All
need.
right. All right. Let me answer you, Mr. Harris. If you cannot sell the drug, why you have to? Which desire make you to sell to produce the drug? Let's say there is no
Money,
money at all. Let me
money.
say, let me tell you. Let me tell you, Mr. Harris. If somebody go and rob a bank, okay. If bank doesn't exist, how can you rob a bank?
Yeah,
I know
that's
that
fine.
this.
That's the standard we have created, that we have monetary system. We have a
No.
monetary system to exchange, to make trade better. We can't go back to bartering. Bartering would be even worse. But then in that case, people will be stealing other things, because this is the world that we live in. That, okay, forget about the money if there's no bank, okay, but then there's a hunter-gatherer, and then there's a tribe where we just go back to hunter-gatherer stage, and we're running around in jungles or savannas, and then your tribe lives in the east, my tribe lives in 10 kilometers west of you, and there's a herd of gazelles that we both want to hunt. Now you said that's yours, my tribe says that's mine, but we fight over it. So what's that? It's the desire that actually makes us do it, because it's the food that we wanted. So in the current world, people will rob a bank because that's the desire. With that money, they can fulfill the rest of their desires: food, house, shelter, luxuries, private planes. Who knows? So it's a desire. It's
Yes.
perfectly natural, and we know it. Every other animal is doing that. When a lion hunts an impala or a gazelle or a wildebeest, it's a desire of its body to feed itself.
Okay. Now you're talking about the past. Okay. I'm talking about the
No, no, I've talked
21st.
about both. I've talked about both. I've talked about past and
Yes.
present. It's the
Yes.
same thing.
Yes. I say that today, okay, today our problem is all because of the system. Okay. We call it capitalism. That
It's better
system.
than the most.
Okay, now let me tell you, Mr. Harris, for you it's better maybe because you have a life, but for billions of people who are living on $1 a day, it's a hell. Okay,
50%. We've
and
reduced the world's poverty down to 50%. Never
okay,
happened in the history of mankind before.
okay.
50%.
Let me see. Do you know how many percent of the world population own uh, half of the total capital of the planet? How many percent?
It doesn't matter. I think it's 98% or something. But that
No,
doesn't
no.
matter. Not everyone wants to be a millionaire. Not everyone can be a billionaire. My point is 50% of the world's population has been reduced to the poverty has been reduced to 50%. Throughout human history, it's been 99%. Only the select few aristocrats, the rich, influential people, have had what we define poverty as. They lived above it. So we define poverty. Yes, you can call it $2 or $3 a day. I think whatever the poverty definition today is, whatever that is. Okay, in that time frame, at least they can feed themselves. Okay, they can't buy a Mercedes, but they could feed themselves. Now that's again. Now the other 50% is worse. I get it. Now they can't even feed themselves. They can't get more than one food. But I'm talking about this is better in entire human history. It's never been like this before. So
Yes.
when you say, oh, my God gave us, the Quran has the solution to all the problem, Quran is just a vague book. It's got nothing special in it. It's got absolutely nothing special. And by the way, you still haven't told me that what exactly, where did you find God that all the atheists were like, oh shit, they didn't get it, but you found it.
Okay, Mr. Harris. The thing is that I think it is very new for you to hear what I'm talking about.
I've heard this.
Yes.
Trust me, I've heard
Yes,
this
you
argument
have.
before.
Mr. Harris, you know, those weapon cartels, okay, they create war, they sell billions of dollars in weapon, okay, to different countries. All these, you say that, okay, people get some dollars to eat, okay. How can you solve drug problem? 5 million people on the planet every year die from cigarettes, okay, only from smoking cigarette. 5 million people. Why? Because some factories, tobacco factories, they want to sell cigarette, and then
No, it's
drugs.
because human choice. See, this is what you religious people never understand. That you people don't understand that there's a thing that we respect in the modern Western world, in the modern liberal Western world. We respect human choices. We want to increase as much freedom as possible. That's what we want to do. So it has its consequences. Like, okay, someone can be a prostitute at 18 years of age. Okay, we can have teenage pregnancy. Okay, we can have a drug problem, a gambling problem, alcohol problem. We know that those things can happen, but we also know that we can't just pick up a gun and tell, hey, you cannot smoke, or hey, you cannot do what you want to do with your body. So that's the other end of the spectrum. So no, we have to find a balance, and these problems will always remain there. There will always be teenage pregnancies. There will always be some sort of drugs. Hang on, I know this is painful for you to hear, because maybe you haven't understood this side of the argument. I've probably never heard of it before. But this is what I'm saying, that the solution to the problem is not just putting a gun to someone's head and saying, hey, this is what you do. And I think this is what religious people, you believe that, and this is where you get boxed in, because you have an assumption that this is a book written by or sent by God, by Allah, not written by Muhammad, which is quite evident that it's written by Muhammad. It has all the indicators of a 7th century. And then you think that, okay, because it's been sent by Allah, therefore we can live by it and we have the problem. Not even once in the Muslim history, not even in the times of Muhammad, you could say, hey, this is the perfect society we've created. Because there was no scientific advancement in the time of Muhammad or the first 4 caliphs. What were they doing? They were just beating people up for stealing, or they were doing whatever they wanted to do. Okay, you have sex outside of marriage. Oh, the all hell break loose and the world is coming to an end. No, and again, adultery is something that is seen by your God as something bad and evil. No, that's fine. People want to bang each other. They can do all they want.
Okay. First of all, who said that I told you that you have to put a gun on people's head? Okay. You are absolutely
law and order.
No,
law is exactly that.
Yes. I'm talking to you, Mr. Harris. We are living in a jungle with a jungle rule. Okay. You are stronger, you get the most. You are weaker, you get the least. Okay. Or you die from hunger. Okay. Are you calling yourself a human being, or you're calling yourself an animal? Which one you call yourself? Can you please tell me?
We are smart animals. Yes, we are smart animals.
Yes.
But our world, but don't misrepresent my views, because we're not living in the jungle right now. We have laws and orders. There are no laws in the jungle.
Okay, so you see yourself as a smart animal. Yes, I know we are a smart animal, but that's the reason that God sent us prophets, to guide us to a human world.
Okay, so you made a jump to the prophets. You've made a jump to the prophets when you couldn't counter my points that I said that, okay, we make laws and this is how we improve our society. Jungles don't have laws. We make our laws. There are reasons why there are constitutions written by humans. There's not a single constitution written by a God, and it's one little book that you say, okay, this has got all the solutions to the problem. No, what does Quran say about identity theft?
Okay.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, let me tell you.
Does it say anything about speeding? No. Does Quran say anything about speeding?
Mr. Harris, these things has been left to us. That's why in Islam we have the system of ijtihad, we call it. Okay, that new things comes and new rules comes. Okay, that's something else. But I was telling you that.
So why do we need God then? We don't need God. If the system that you've also got, that okay, we need to debate and we need to talk about new things. So why do we need God? We know that we can do things. If we need to make a school, we need to put a new speed limit in the school zone or not. We should whether we should make memes about other people or not. These are new things. We know that we've been doing that throughout human history. We've been making new laws, and that's what parliamentarians do. So why do we need your God?
Okay, as I told you that. God created us as smart animals that we live in our nature, okay? And in this jungle, the rules is the strongest get the most and the weakest get little or nothing. That's obvious, okay? You cannot deny it. Nobody can deny it. People have hundreds of billions of dollars, and billions of people have just $1 a day, okay? So this is a jungle, and we are living in with the jungle rule. God.
Not really. No, not really. No, it's not that. Yeah, but you're strawmanning a very complex economic system, and just because you think that okay, Bill Gates have got $100 billion, and I don't know about you. I've got. I don't know about me either. But if I get only $10 an hour, then you could say, hey, this is unfair. Why has he got that? And some people do struggle with that. But unfortunately, this is the best system that we've got. It's not the perfect system. We tried socialism. We tried communism. I am a social democrat myself. I do believe in universal healthcare, universal education. I do believe in a minimum income for people. I do believe in those things. Like Australia is a little bit different from America, and I think you live in Sweden, which is a Scandinavian country, one of the good role models for the world. So those countries are better than America. I'm not a huge fan of American system, but I understand that unfortunately at this time this is the best we've got. But your God is totally out of the equation. He's got no say in that. Quran's got no say in that. The world is far too complex and complicated for a 7th century book to tell us how to design a world.
Okay, that's your understanding, Mr. Harris. My understanding is different. Okay, so now I told you that you said that this is the best system we got. Okay, for now, yes. For now is the best system. Not the best system. This is the only system. This is our nature system of our nature, that the strongest get the most. And I didn't say it is fair or it is unfair. Okay, I'm not talking about fair and unfair. I'm talking about the human and the difference between human and animal. We are a smart animal. Are we going to call us smart animal, or we want to call ourselves human?
So what has your God offered? So I just want to understand. You're going a different tangent, but so what has your God in your book told us that the humanity could not really work around it? Like, is it the zakat you're talking about? What's the Muslims? Oh, right. So zakat. So we do charity. We do charity here as well. Zakat is actually a tax, and yes, we do tax that. We do tax people, and we run our public hospitals with that. We pay our jobless people with that tax money, and we build our army with that tax money. So yeah, everyone's been taxing people for ages. Zakat is not something new.
Listen, Mr. Harris, you are living in another world. To me, you are living in a different world. Okay, I'm not talking about paying taxes and zakat. I'm talking about a world where we don't need to pay taxes and zakat. Okay, in a world that we share everything with each other. We love.
How are you going to do it? How are you going to do it?
We sacrifice each other for each other. Okay, I'm talking.
Where does Quran say that?
World. Listen to me, Mr. Harris. You are in an animal world. Okay, and you see this world, nothing else. You don't see anything else.
But what does Quran say? What does your Quran say? That no millionaires allowed in the Quran? No billionaires allowed in the Quran?
Mr. Harris, Quran says, okay, stand 5 times a day towards Mecca and say, show me the right way. Okay? Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim. What is the wrong way? The wrong way is the way I told you now. Okay?
You haven't told me anything. We already know that.
No, the wrong way is prostitution. The wrong way is drug. The wrong way is pollution. Corruption.
Pollution
The wrong way is corruption. The wrong way is drug, prostitution, war, poverty. This is the wrong.
Your prophet had a lot of wars.
Sorry.
Your prophet had a lot of wars, and to establish the law of Allah. Okay. Your prophet had a lot of wars.
Okay. So let me tell you, I'm Iranian originally, okay? Originally Iranian. We have a dictatorship there, killing people. We have a lot of war against this dictatorship. Is it wrong? To bring down the dictatorship? Is it wrong?
Yes.
It's wrong?
Revolution.
Revolution is wrong?
No, it's not wrong. I'm saying overthrow them.
Yes. So this is... you have right always from even United Nations.
I know that, but we recognize that, sir. We recognize the problems in the world. We don't come with the self-righteous attitude that yes, we have the perfect. We're not to make people feel warm and fuzzy. We're not making beautiful statements like, oh, throw away all the wars, let's all be hippies. You're saying that, hey, throw away all the wars, but then you say, oh yeah, well, there are some wars to be fought. Yeah, duh, we know that too. There are some wars to be fought, and that's why we fight those wars. So world is not perfect. There are humans. No one is going to live by your one philosophy, and no one is going to buy any of that. So we know that these things will keep happening. Historically, another fact for you, historically, even though 20th century had the First and Second World War, which were the bloodiest in the human history ever, there were the least amount of wars, conflicts in the past 600 years. So, and we are going towards less wars as well. So, and this, so far, this first 20 years are comparatively very peaceful from the last 500 years. That's just another fact.
Okay. You mean that in this system we are living, okay, while we are living in this system, in the future, people will not try to become rich by drug. They will not become rich try not to become rich by selling weapons.
They will.
Hmm?
They will.
So, yes, as long as this system exists, people will do that, okay, because there is the opportunity. You give them the opportunity to become billionaires, okay? So we have to remove this system so that they cannot become billionaires by selling weapons, by selling drugs, okay? Farmers of Afghanistan cannot sell drugs, become richer. They can just produce potatoes and tomatoes instead. Okay?
So this is the world we live in. We know that these problems exist. I know you. So your point is, Quran says, hey, don't produce drugs. But that's what every government says the same thing. Don't produce drugs. We're trying to fight it. There will always be bad people who will be doing this.
No, Mr. Harris. No, Mr. Harris. Mr. Harris. To say don't do that is one thing, and to try to remove the source is another thing. Okay?
No, you think the governments have not tried when they killed Pablo Escobar? Do you think U.S. hasn't had the war on drugs since the Ronald Reagan time? They've been doing it for so long, and it's been backfiring because there is no way. You can't really do it that way unless the South American governments do something.
Mr. Harris, I think that I have to, explain again for you. I gave you that example of the grocery, okay? 2 pictures. In one picture, I stole from your store. Why? Because I didn't have money. In the second picture, I didn't steal because money didn't exist. So the solution, Mr. Harris, it's
a bad analogy. How would you steal? Money didn't exist. You didn't steal. So how would you get it from my store?
Yes, it's free, Mr. Harris. You leave.
How can you make something free?
Because God says that you have to live in such a world, Mr. Harris.
Oh my God, no, it doesn't. Where does Quran say that throw away the money system? And where does the Quran say that?
So because Mr. Harris, because you and many extremist Muslims don't understand it, it doesn't mean that it doesn't say, okay?
Because it's in your mind. You've come up with a new idea, which is a totally impractical one. Okay. Because if you write, how about you write a paper where everything is free? There are far brilliant. Stop being so arrogant with yourself. I'm not arrogant about that. There's so many brilliant people who have been trying to work out an economic system that is feasible, but they've failed. If you submit your paperwork, and maybe you might get a Nobel Prize in economics, where you've managed to create everything that's free, it cannot happen. Karl Marx, I don't know if you've read Das Kapital. If you read that, okay, so you understand that how he tries to make a society where everyone is equal, and it just doesn't work. Okay. It just doesn't work.
All right. Now, can I explain for you now?
Sure. Harris, this is the last 5 minutes. Yeah.
Now, you said that where in Quran says that, okay? We stand towards Mecca and say, show me the right way, okay? Every time, every day. The right way is why we stand, Mr. Harris, you have to have a little bit control when you talk,
I'll put myself on a mute. I'll put myself on a mute, so I don't butt in, but I'm listening. But it's so circular logics that you're throwing at me. It's very difficult for me to stay focused.
Mr. Harris, just because you don't understand and billions of Muslims don't understand, over 1 billion Muslims don't understand, it doesn't mean that It is not. Okay.
No one
When
understands.
okay,
What you're saying, nobody understands.
yeah. Why we go to Mecca, okay, and dress those two white clothes? Why we do that? Can you explain for
No,
me?
I don't know that. No, I don't
You
know
don't
that.
know. So when you don't know, Mr. Harris, when you don't know, you don't have to say that you know.
I don't say
That
I know
two,
everything.
yeah,
I don't say I
that,
know everything.
yeah. Let me tell you.
I don't
Let me
know.
tell
I
you.
don't know everything. So
Let me tell you exactly. That two cloth has to be, the material is decided, has to be cotton, okay, and the same color. When you go there, there is no rich, no poor, okay, and
what?
we stand towards there 5 times a day, say, show me the right way. I showed you the wrong way, Mr. Harris. The wrong way is the capitalist system where 1% of the world population own 50% of the total capital of the planet, which is $110 trillion, and billions of people
So
living
what
on
you're showing me,
$1 a day. Listen
what
to me,
you're
Mr.
showing me
Harris.
the alternative. Say you what
The,
the alternative that
the,
you're showing me is
the
even worse.
alternative is equality. The
That,
alternative is to get rid of this
yeah,
satanic system.
yeah,
Okay,
warm
the
and fuzzy.
alternative is to get rid of this satanic system and live like a human being, Mr. Harris.
Well, it's a
Quran
woman.
also,
It's a
Quran came
warm
to
and
teach.
fuzzy. No,
Yes,
it doesn't.
Quran,
No,
Mr.
Quran
Harris,
doesn't teach anything.
Quran came to teach you to live like a human being,
Yeah,
like an
right. Cut
animal,
off hands and feet.
like a smart animal.
Yeah, cut
Okay,
off hands and feet. That's what Quran teaches us. Quran that has no dissertation on the economic system, how the economy. Show me the right way. Right way is a subjective term. I can say I've got the right way, and now you're saying no. Billions of Muslims
okay,
don't understand. The whole world, the capitalist world, doesn't understand. The
okay.
smartest people can't understand. But
So
Mushtaba,
show
you
me the right
understand. And
way.
you found a world.
No,
You
Mr.
found a world where you've created a world where you can just create everything free.
You said
Congratulations, Nobel Prize.
you said that you can show me the right way. Show me the right way. Can you show
No,
me
I
the
know that this is the world. This is the right way. This is the only way that we come up with so far. And it improves slowly and slowly. I've given you the historical data, 50% reduction in the poverty line. We are living longer. We're living better. We're not there yet. I mean, I would love to live in a world where nobody dies, no child dies of hunger. All of us have nice, warm roofs over our head, warm houses. I would love to live in that world, but we're getting towards that. But it's just not going to happen. But it's definitely not
not
going
gonna
to happen
happen.
by saying it's definitely not
You
going to
said it's
happen by
not gonna
saying
happen.
hey, no. It's definitely not going to happen by looking at a rock and saying, "Show me the right way." You're literally talking to a wall. You're looking at the wall and saying, "Show me the right way," and somehow someone is going to magically show you the right way and solve the problem. No. So this is a very loony talk, unfortunately. I mean. Uh, Look, I mean, I'll let the viewers decide what they think, but unfortunately, this is. I mean, look at the wall and say, "Show me the right way," and I got it. I got the right way. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense by any sense, and by any standard. And you say Satan is causing all the problems. Tsunamis are caused by Satan. What? I mean, anyway, that's a different topic altogether. But yeah, I mean, I think
I
we have to
didn't
wrap
say
that.
tsunami. Satan made create the Satan the tsunami, Mr. Harris. Satan create, in reality, as I told you, Satan is the system. Satan
No, it's not.
is not a creature. Is not that was a symbol. Okay,
I'm just
Satan
saying
is
it. They're
yes.
playing with words.
Satan
I would say
Satan
Muhammad
is
was a
this.
Satan.
Sorry.
I would say Muhammad was a Satan. I mean, that doesn't mean anything. Potato,
Okay.
potato. Like you can call anything. You can call anything you want.
Let me
Satan is an imaginary character. And if I do something good to someone, you say, "Oh, God filled his heart with mercy." And if I go and stab someone, you'll be like, "Oh, Satan did it." So this is just a circular
no,
logic,
Mr. Harris.
circular reasoning.
Mr.
There's
Harris,
no
you said
no
no,
evidence
Mr.
behind
Harris.
any of that.
Mr. Harris, you said Muhammad was Satan. Let me see.
No. I'm saying it could be. I'm saying I
No,
could say that.
let me see, Mr. Harris. You are very, very, unfair because at the time of Muhammad, when he came, uh, the pagans there, they were burying their daughters alive. Okay, so how come a Satan came and
It's a lie.
saved?
It's a lie. How did Khadija survive? How did
Okay,
Muhammad's mother survive?
all right.
There might
Okay,
have been one or two instances, but what
Mr.
we have evidence of women who were successful business women at the time of Muhammad. We actually have the record of that. So this is another lie that is concocted, and
Okay.
because it made you feel good, that's why you are happy to take those riwayats that
Okay.
they were bearing children.
Can I explain something, Mr. Harris? You have Google in front of you, okay? Check how many girls have been killed in India for the past 20 years. I Google it. 10 million people, the girls, have been killed in India before or after birth. Okay?
It got nothing to do with Islam.
Listen to me, Mr. Harris. Not even one of them are Muslim. Okay?
Nothing to do with Islam.
Hindus, even today, they are burying their daughters alive in India because
No, they're
they're
not.
ashamed of their daughters.
They're not burying them alive.
So,
They're not burying
sorry?
them alive. They're not
Sorry?
burying them alive. They're not burying them alive. What there has been, there's been a case of selection where people choose the gender of their baby, and that's what happened in China as well. And then they've been aborting. They've been aborting where some people find out, okay, it's a daughter instead of a boy, but they're not burying them alive.
Mr. Harris, if you send me the video, okay, please, are you recording this?
It's going live. It's going live on the channel. The people watch.
I will get this video later. How can
it would be on my channel?
Sorry,
It will be on my channel.
Okay, and I will put all evidence in the middle of, because I'm director as well. Okay, I will edit it. I will put all this.
That's fine. Look, that doesn't prove anything. So even if it's true, I don't know about that, but even if it's true, that's got nothing to do with Islam and the claim that Arabs were burying their daughters alive.
No, Mr. Harris,
even if they were doing it, I can turn it around. So Muhammad said, stop burying your daughter because when they grow up, I want to marry them all.
Okay.
I can make up anything I want.
Mr. Harris, I will tell you another thing, okay? Even in 21st century in Sweden, still women are fighting for equal rights, okay? In the past 100 years ago, women didn't get even 1% inheritance, okay? But 1400 years ago, women got 50% of all rights, in many cases equal rights in Arabia, while in everywhere on this planet, women were not even human beings, okay?
The statement is worth half. The statement is worth half of that of a man. It might have been okay by the standards of the time, okay? It might have been okay by the standards of the time. I've said it before, but it's definitely not okay by the standards of today.
Yes,
today's woman is definitely far better than the woman Islam gets. Because today a daughter can get 50%, not 1/4.
No, listen to me, Mr. Harris. I didn't say that it is okay with the standard of today. No, I said 1400 years ago. Okay, that was all he could do. Okay, with Arabs who didn't believe that a woman is a human being. Okay, is a slave and cannot own anything. Not only Arabs. Everywhere on this planet, in India, even today, one of women's god is husband. Do you know that? One of their god is their husband. Their husband is their god. In Japan, a husband could behead his wife.
This is an old argument. This argument might have worked in the early part of the 19th century or maybe early part of the 20th century. It doesn't work today. So what? If you gave someone, I can say, well, okay, why didn't you end slavery? Abraham Lincoln was better than Muhammad. Abraham Lincoln almost got killed for it. He fought a war. He went in a civil war, destroyed half of his country because he stood by a principle that, okay, no human should own another human. But Muhammad said, you know what, it's okay. And maybe you can have some concubines as well. Look, we can go in another argument. Okay, we can go in another tangent. But, I think we should leave it at that point only, where the solution to the world's problem in your case was, look at the wall and say, show me the right way. That's what we say, and that's why we're still not getting it. So I think if we solve the world's problems like that by talking to a wall and say, show us the problem. And well, you said that in the Sirat al-Mustaqim, you say that, you look at the wall. You said that you look at the Kaaba. You said that. You said you look at the Kaaba, we say that.
No, who said? I said we stand towards those white dress, okay, the equal dress, and ask God to show us the way, the right way.
Yeah.
And He has shown us 1400 years ago, and we haven't understood.
No one has understood it.
That the right way is equality, Mr. Harris.
Yeah, saying equality there's no equality in Islam. Just saying the proper, nice, warm, fuzzy words, using those words doesn't make it true. When anyone who reads the Quran There is no equality in the Quran, whether you're a human, whether
Yes.
you're a man or a woman, whether you're a slave. There's no equality in Islam. So, and the best example, you say, oh, I didn't say today's standards. Yeah, but the standards up until 100 years ago. Yeah, okay, all right, you win the first 1300 years of women's rights, you'll win the title. But hang on, we've moved past that. We made a better world for women today, and there's no way that Islam is even in the picture as far as women rights are concerned. Maybe 200 years ago it was okay, all right. Women property only in the case of property rights. I don't know. I would say you like to do your research. I'd say look up Etruscan women. Etruscan women in antiquity had equal rights, far better than any other civilization at that time. So look it up. But again, that civilization didn't survive because it was overtaken by the Romans. Anyway, so I think, as you said again, God, you've been talking to God for so long. Show us the right way, and we still haven't understood it. That says a lot about the religion and about a lot about the callous of your God, that He doesn't even show you the right way. He showed it 1400 years ago, and now He's like this. No, I showed it to you. You don't understand. Screw you. My writing was wonderful. I wrote everything in the Quran. You are not understanding it. I'm not going to solve you. So anyway, you have the last word. I got to wrap it up.
So, because 1400 years ago people didn't understand it, it doesn't mean that we don't have to understand it even today. For 1400 years ago was too early. Okay, God waited billions of years for us. Even today is too early because people like you even don't understand it today. For you is even you are living in 21st century. I give you so many beautiful examples, and for you is wow. No, it is impossible. How could it be possible for people of 1400 years ago, and He tell them right away that live equally? No,
because you're not making any sense.
us.
That's why. That's why no one's understanding it.
Yeah, He
Given you.
left everything.
You've given
He
me
left
beautiful
everything for
words.
us.
You've given me beautiful words. I've given you facts, hardcore facts. Our lifespan has gone up. Our lifestyle has gone up. Poverty has gone down by 50%.
Yes.
I've given
Yeah.
you hard facts. By people, you said they don't understand anything. Right. So if not understanding is making our lives better, I'm happy to not understand.
Yes, but you said you said yourself as well that we will never get rid of all those problems as long as we are living in this system.
Yeah,
You
1, 2.
admitted
Yeah, no,
yourself.
in every system. No, in every system there would be problems. In communist Russia, where there was strict law and order, there were very harsh punishments. There were still gangs there as well. There were still criminals as well. Yeah, in North Korea, people say crime is next to zero because people are shit scared of doing anything. You know what? I would rather live in a free society and run the risk of getting mugged in the street than live in a society where I'm too afraid to go anywhere. I'll give you the solution to the rape problem. Never let any woman leave the house. You would never get raped. There's a solution. There you go. So I think you don't understand the balance between freedom and security. Freedom and security are two different things. So when you heighten the security too much, your freedoms go down. When you give freedom too much, then your security goes down. So that's why the Western world is all about that balance. And I'm okay with that. I don't want to live in 100% security state.
No, but,
North Korea
yeah,
or Saudi Arabia.
But you're wrong about that. Keep all women at home, then they will rape men. If they don't find a woman outside, then they will rape a man. Okay, so anyway.
Yeah, true. That's true. That's true.
So
But, as it happens.
Yes. And
you're right about something.
You said about Russia. Okay, I don't know if you have read Marxism. The base of Marxism is direct democracy. Okay, which you don't find it in any Marxist country on this planet. Direct democracy. They are just dictatorship. In Marxism, the power is to people. People choose their leaders. Okay, it is people who have the power, and they can change their leaders anytime they want because it is direct democracy. But in no communist country on this planet you have any democracy at all, not even indirect democracy. I don't know if you are familiar with direct and indirect democracy. Indirect democracy is what we have in the West. But direct democracy doesn't exist anywhere on the planet, and this is the best democracy, okay? Because you can change your leaders anytime you want. But that's this Marxism democracy that they believe in. But nowhere on this planet, any Marxist countries, they have democracy at all, not even indirect democracy. So you don't have to bring them
We're
inside
going in a different
our
tangent.
discussion. You don't have
All
to
right.
bring them inside our discussion. They are like, you bring these Muslim countries and say that, look, Islam is bad because of them. Okay, they are absolutely don't follow
No, that's not the
truth.
argument. No, that's not the argument. We actually say Islam is worse than these Muslim countries. But anyway, look, thank you very much for coming. We're now going in a different tangent, but we talked about the what is, I actually don't know, but I think it's going to be a very interesting one. I will put it out separately. I will upload it. Probably it should be uploaded by tomorrow. You can download it and you can upload it on your mediums as well. I hope you don't misrepresent my views.
No.
But thank you very much for coming. I
I'm
really
not such a
appreciate it.
person.
Okay,
I'm
no,
not such a
that's
person.
fine. Thank you,
Now
thank you,
I'm
thank.
going just to put those facts which I was talking to about.
That's fine.
All right.
Those will be irrelevant if you plaster the screen with some facts on Indian infanticide. That doesn't solve the actual problem. But anyway, you're free to do whatever you want. That's
All
fine.
right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a nice.
You
Thank
too.
Bye bye.
All right, folks. That was Mushtaba. Do check out his Facebook profile. He's made a documentary film. I would definitely love to. I wanted to check it out, but now I'm not so sure whether I would want to. But look, I mean, with all due respect, he came, and thank you very much for his time. So now we're going to move on, and we're going to take some other callers. But before that, I need to go and wake my wife up because I think she's asleep. So I'll be back in a second. All right, folks. So I'm gonna share the link again, and people are welcome to come in. We can talk about things. Let's have a look. Hazrat Muhammad. Hi. Oh my God. I'm starstruck. I'm starstruck. Hazrat Muhammad is here. Oh, he's run away. Hazrat Muhammad is gone. I think he's probably gone to collect another wahi, another revelation. Okay. All right. We'll get Saeed Ahmed.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi. Yes. What would you like to say?
Do you want me to speak in Urdu or in
No, this is English, bro. This is English. This is English.
All right. My question is that why is it why do atheists nowadays always bashing on religion? Why is it atheists always bashing on religion? Why is it why are they talking about the world's problem? Why is it always bashing?
Well,
Promoting.
okay, yeah, I got it. I got your point. So you're probably gonna repeat it again. So why we're bashing Islam or religion in general?
Any religion,
Yeah. Okay, because for a very long time, religion has been has enjoyed this untouchable status that no one can touch it. Wherever a religion goes, that's it. We talk about everything. We talk about politics. We talk about the culture. We talk about languages. We talk about sports. We talk about everything, but we cannot talk about religion. This is still predominantly the culture in Pakistan as well. I get attacked about, hey, bro, dude, just don't talk about religion. Religion, you don't talk about it. Whatever you say, no, we just don't talk about it. And why don't you talk about it? It's just an idea like anything else, and the worst thing is the hypocrisy is because religions still enjoy freedom and go and expect. I really want to ban the tablighi jamaats that come to Western countries, if I could, because none of the priests, none of the Christian missionaries can go to any Islamic country and preach Christianity or and let alone atheists. Atheists, who knows what would happen to them. So, but they come to these countries and they preach their religion. So how come religions enjoy untouchable status that no one can touch them, and it's built on fear and such bad reasoning and logic that only a few atheists, some ordinary YouTubers, can decimate, can destroy everything about religion. Like, I mean, every ordinary YouTuber with 1,000 subscribers has already converted hundreds of religious people into atheists. So this is the power of, unfortunately, the power that they had. They've lost it.
But like atheists nowadays, I think they don't like tell you how to live a life that has purpose. They just tell you,
Yeah, we
oh,
do.
they just tell you like, oh, religion is bad, religion does this, religion promotes
They tell you.
evil and that.
Okay,
But
so wait, hang on. Let me ask you a question. So when you say they don't tell you how to live your life, so when they say,
but
"Hey,
like the
live your life,"
smart
no, wait,
but like the smart atheists, like the people who don't believe in religion, like Bill Gates or like who are successful, they don't go around and bashing religion. They just
no,
like
because okay, hang on a sec, hang on. They don't go around bashing religion because they have a certain world to run. They have a certain role to play. Does every Muslim or every Christian go out there and preach Islam or Christianity? Or actually, probably Muslims do a little bit more, but no, they don't. Most of them don't. So why does every atheist has to go out and talk about atheism? It's just the way it is. I mean, certain people have done it. Certain people have just, that topic is more interesting to them. They do it. I do it because now I've had time in my life, and I was at a certain stage in my life where I'd say, "Hey, I could do this," and we get into it. There's so many other atheists who don't talk about it. So obviously, you're only looking at atheists who talk about, who bash religion, and you're saying, "Well, why they're doing it?" It's just like any religious person. Most religious people don't talk about their religiosity same way. Actually, even though they do, same way atheists don't talk about. Bill Gates doesn't bash religion because he's just not interested in it.
yeah. And I'm kind of like agnostic type, so like I don't like really believe in any religion
Right.
or but I don't go around like debating people, oh, you're
Yeah, it
wrong
depends where
and
you live. It depends where you live.
I
Do you live
live
in
in
Pakistan?
US. No, I live in California.
Oh, right. So you live in California. Um, you don't go around bashing religion. No,
Like
look, good on
I
you.
mean
Good on
I
you.
I mean I used to like debate with my family members, but then I just came to a point that it's like it's
It
not
doesn't matter.
meaning.
Right.
There's no yeah.
Right. That's okay. That's okay. And that's the beauty of it. And when you say, when atheists don't tell you how to live a life, that's how you should live a life. Live a life, live a full life, whatever interests you, go pursue your interests. This is all you've got. These
Yeah.
50, 60, 70 years on this planet is all you got. So make the
Yeah.
most of it. That's what we
Yeah.
say. Don't think that, oh, today I'm just gonna, do this. I'm gonna refrain myself from having sex. Instead, I'll just wank. So one day I'll go to heaven and I'll have 72 virgins. Don't live in that. If you
Yeah.
get an opportunity to get laid, go for it.
Yeah.
All
All right,
right.
nice talking to you.
Thank
And
you.
last thing that like आपका जो channel है पाकिस्तानी मौलिद, I'm really big fan of that.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for
Alright,
coming. Thanks, bro.
alright.
All right, folks. All right. Gunahe Kabira. That means like the biggest sin of all. Like, hey, welcome to Sultan's House of Sin. Gunahe Kabira. What would you like to say?
Thank you, Harris. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Good. अच्छा आपसे एक तो बात
No,
ये
no, no,
करनी
no, no. It's only in English. It's only in English. This is my English channel.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that. I just my apologies. But anyways, um, just wanted to say, uh, my opinion is not all religions are created equal. Some are more detrimental to humans than others. So if there is some sort of, maybe you can say, a placebo effect where some of it is helping someone get by in life in a better fashion than it would without it. I'm just thinking, do we have to bash down on it just as hard as we do some of the more worst forms of it? Your thoughts?
Yeah, look, I mean, people say, I mean, that's a bad argument because drugs make you feel better. I mean, and alcohol makes alcoholics feel better. But is it really good? It's a good argument that if something makes you feel better, then we should just have it, or we should let them have it. Um, what is so beautiful about the concept of heaven, especially when you're chronically ill and you're about to die? I can understand at that point. There's no point in having any atheistic debate. If you're going to live for 3 months, maybe live in the dream world that it's okay. The life will be over, and I'll go up into heaven. I'll meet my family members, my ancestors, and I'll have the time of my life. I mean, there's nothing wrong in that, but does it really make it true? Maybe at that point you can let go of true, and this is why I keep quoting Amin Nawabi's story because it's so powerful. I mean, when I first read it, like, I'm not really an emotional kind of person, but it really reduced me to tears when I don't know where I heard him say it. I think, but I heard it say it somewhere, and it showed some photos. So Amin Nawabi had his mother, who was obviously, she was a Muslim, very nice lady, but in the last part of her life, she had cancer, and Amin Nawabi couldn't go to Iran because, obviously, for obvious reasons. So he made his mother fly to Canada, and Amin later said that he felt really bad because his mother was in such a bad state at that time. He felt bad for putting her through this journey. It's a long flight and all that, and she probably got even more sick. And she was a practicing woman, but she was obviously dying, and just before, in the last few days, or maybe on the deathbed, she asked Armin, she said, Armin, are you sure there's nothing after death? And Armin is a chronic rationalizer. I don't know what I would have answered my mother. I probably would have said, no, Mom, it's going to be okay. We'll meet soon. It's just something that's a very nice, warm, fuzzy feeling. I mean, I would have said that to my mom. Maybe, but now maybe I won't say it. I don't know. But Armin is a chronic rationalizer. If something doesn't make sense to him, he doesn't buy it. No matter how hard the truth is, he'll stick that truth deep in your gut. So Mom said, his mother said, Mom, son, are you sure there's nothing out there? And he said, yeah, Mom, there's nothing out there. Nothing's going to happen after that. So his mother said, good, I'm already tired. So, he's a dying woman. Any little ray of hope would have lifted her up. But, she was strong enough to say, you know what? Yeah, screw it. I mean, I'm already tired of living this life. That's, I felt if it's over, it's over. I'm done with it. But Armin could have given a different answer. So, just because it makes you feel good doesn't mean that we should always say it. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, thanks. Thanks for sharing that story, Harris. I was maybe thinking about it from a slightly different viewpoint, in the sense, like you said, maybe drugs make you feel better. We don't stop bashing drugs, so to speak. But there's also another viewpoint.
No, but they're bad drugs too. They're lethal drugs too.
No, I understand that, but then there's the aspect of free will at that point, right? I mean, if alcohol is bad for you, should you stop someone from drinking?
No,
right?
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all I wanted to say. I mean, if there are people who live in their fantasy world, I mean, I personally don't want to go bashing down their walls as long as they are not they're not interfering with others' lives.
But tell me which Muslim country there is that doesn't interfere in people's lives because of its religion. Tell me. Religion is a disease that's a very aggressive virus that wants to spread out. When people say, oh, let us just be. No. Whenever you let them be, they come after you. They take over governments. We have countless examples of that. So, as I said, name one Muslim country where Islam is not the most important or the most important ingredient, essential ingredient of one's life. There's no Muslim country. Maybe Turkey. Maybe you could say Turkey, but Turkey is also getting more and more Islamized.
You're absolutely right, and my I guess my argument wasn't specifically for Islam. I've read about it. I've studied a little bit, and I fully understand. As long as, like, if you apply it the way it is, then sure.
But
damn.
the problem is but the problem is Christianity also was like that until it was beaten down. It was punched, beaten to the ground by secularists and atheists. That's what these people were, atheists of the time. Humes and the Kants and Voltaire's. These guys were the atheists at the time. They revolutionized the Western world. But what was happening before that? Inquisitions, Charles Martel beheading people, and Servetus, Michael Servetus, and Giordano Bruno being burnt at stake. I mean, what was happening then? So these things, religions, you let them go. You just saw an example now in America. They were these were the evangelists. They're just doing these mass churches, and because they're not getting any money, so they're doing that, and then they get arrested because they have, this is the virus. They've been selling these invisible bananas to monkeys for thousands of years, and that's why they just keep doing it. And so you have to. And we're not saying put a gun to the head. We're just saying we're going to keep talking. You've enjoyed your proselytization and preaching and free speech for so long. It's our turn to enjoy that now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And when it comes to, I guess the Abrahamic religions, three in particular that one can see today, that totally applies. And your point about beating down Christianity until it became sort of a passive and benevolent sort of religion. I totally agree with that. There's history in Europe with pagans when it started spreading to Eastern Europe, and how the knights would what were they called, the Teutonic Knights, how they would go out and massacre these tribes until they converted. All of that is out there. But I think I just wanted to say, from like holistic perspective, if you look at some of the Eastern viewpoints, I mean, they sort of coexist if you think about. But I think India, for example.
I think Hinduism is the only exception. I think that Hinduism is very inclusive, and I think I give credit to the fact that maybe because Hinduism is the oldest religion and they've had such great thinkers over such a long period of time that. When Muslims came, they didn't realize. But that also has a downside to it. They let all these viruses come to to their country or to their civilization. And see what happened.
But they also let atheists have a say as well. I mean, atheists are just as respected in that way.
I know. But that's why we need passionate atheists, because we need to. Just any kind of superstition or whatnot, just beat it, just bash it, just make fun of it, poke fun of it, humiliate the superstition. And if they feel bad, they don't have any reasonable answer to come back with. I always say that they've had thousands of years to give us one evidence of their God, yet they all just have these circular logics. Oh, you ask God, God will give it to you. You don't ask him, he won't give it to you. You do this, oh, you have a God made you do this. You don't do this. Oh, God stopped you from doing this. They have all these circular reasonings and the circular logics that's all they've been doing for thousands of years. So the time is up. So I think some people there will always be other atheists who would be now talking about these things. The time's up. Religious time's up.
Okay. No, thanks for the chat, Harris.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, bye.
All right, folks. All right. Who is ready? Spunky Stifler. Hello, Spunky Stifler. Hello, you're on mic.
Yes, Harris, how are you?
Very good. What would you like to say?
Yeah, I actually want to just ask one question, but another guy he has already asked. So
right.
I already got my answer. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. All right. Rahul ready. Are you ready, Rahul?
Yes, Harish. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can hear you. What would you like to say? Only last 30 minutes left. and just 4 minutes for you to,
Awesome.
go for it.
No problem. No problem. So I never was much familiar with the Islamic theology or the knowledge about Islam. But the thing is, after coming across your channel and listening more about the religion, I could understand what exactly isolates these people from mixing with different cultures. You get my point. Like, I'm from Hyderabad in India. We have like 40% of Muslims, and at education and every place we mingle with each other. But the thing is, they get marginalized themselves from Hindus. You know, only few people mix up. But after coming across, listening to your channel and everything, what kind of misconceptions they have across towards the attitude towards kafir, what's the theology teachings they go through, so
Look, I mean,
which is restricting them to,
look.
yeah,
Okay, that was it. Look,
yeah,
a lot of the theology is pretty clear. Whether Muslims believe that or not, or that's mainly impacted by the local politics, culture, and society. So, for example, Islam
yes.
likes kafirs, the non-Muslims. There's a superiority complex in Islam, and I think which is kind of same in all Abrahamic religions, that they are the right. When you believe that you're the right one, you're on the right path, everyone else is like kafir. Uh, some people, even some modern Muslims, even define kafir. Oh, kafir just means people who lie and they know the truth, but they still go against Islam. I mean, if you know that there is a God and His name is Allah, I don't think you'll mess with Him, would you? Because by the little glimpses He's given to us, He's a pretty nasty guy. So you wouldn't mess with Him. So how can anyone be a kafir if you know the truth? So if someone doesn't believe in Allah, then it means they genuinely don't believe in Allah. But they don't understand it.
So,
So the point
and
is, no. So I'll come to the point.
yeah,
Now, so when Muslims, Muslims behave towards non-Muslims differently in different parts of the world. You'll see even in your, we even have examples of people like Shah Rukh Khan, the big celebrity. His wife is a Hindu, and Amir Khan has married a Hindu. And the upper society people, they're different kind of Muslims. They don't probably look at theology seriously, and they are impacted by a certain segment of Indian civilization as well. Now, but there are lower socioeconomic levels where people act differently. Even Hindus act probably discriminately towards Muslims as well, and Muslims do the same. Now, I'll quote you an example, because a lot of people
yeah,
there was my cousin. He had a lawyer, and I had to go and give some paperwork to him. His lawyer was an Indian. I don't know whether Hindu or not. So when I went to his house, I rang the bell, and his wife came out, and I gave her a paper. I said, "Oh, there's a paper for my cousin," and she said, "Just put it down." So I put it down, and then she picked it up. So she didn't want to take it from my hand. I don't know what was the reason. I don't know what it was, superstition, whatever it was. So some people maybe act
yeah,
differently as well. But these are social standards. And in Pakistan, people call Christians, people call them chure. Chure is a derogatory term meaning untouchable. These are dirty people who just do dirty kind of work, sewer work. They're just good for that work. So that a lot of culture is impacted now, but it does stem from religion itself, Abrahamic religion, because they have a superiority complex. We're the good ones, everyone else is just an idiot.
So the word kafir, the first time I got experience with that was, I was in the old city of Hyderabad, which is dominantly with Muslims. So me and my few of Muslim friends, we were there for getting body massage. Most of the bone setters they have there. It's like traditional way of bone setting and doing massage. So the
No
gym
happy
freaks
endings?
often visit those places. No, not that kind of. So, so all of a sudden, the thing is, when the Muslims, many of them, they gather, they start to talk of Islam. That's the only topic. Uh, it's like I'm more Islamic. that's the way they try to show superiority on one upon other. So in between, he started scolding Kafir. He didn't know that I was a Hindu. So the guy who was not uh, aware that there was a Hindu present among them, he started bashing. So it was a surprise to me. Okay, how could he think everybody is Muslim? All the customers are Muslims. So later on, I asked my friend, what did he mean? Why is he shouting kafir? Ye kafir. छोड़ यार वो कुछ बोलते रहता है. So then मुझे लगा okay, some people they are like marginalized from the mainstream. They don't get mixed up. Okay, let it be their way. And right now you said something about the untouchability, about the paper things. Even these practices here we come across with the Orthodox Brahmins. Okay, even my colony is predominantly most of the Brahmins. So bachpan se, like I've been seeing these things, like they uh, like how they do not participate in any religious festivities with some other Hindus too. So this sort of discriminations they happen, but such people are meant to be ignored, and the next generation of theirs, they won't be
Right.
doing that. I believe that.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. No. Thanks for sharing that. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on your
No worries. Thank you.
chat, Haris. Thank you.
Chat.
Bye.
All right. All those folks who've already spoken to me, they can leave the studio so more people can come in. Befikra's been sitting there for a while. He couldn't get a chance last time. Befikra, what do you got to say? What golden quote are
Hey,
you
what's
gonna
up,
quote?
Haris? Can you hear me today?
Yeah. What's up?
Okay, good. Thank God. Okay, so quick 2 minute rant, then I'm gonna get off.
Thanks, science.
So I wrote this. So I wrote this down too, and the title is "We Don't Need Him." Him meaning God.
Right.
All right. So this isn't exactly an argument against
Can
the
I-
truth of
Can
God.
I just before
Yeah, go ahead.
you go into it? Just before you go into it, can I was it Cyndi Lauper songs? We don't need another
We don't need
hero. I think we should pause that. I'll play that little snippet before that. Okay.
That's
All
fine.
right. Go
Good.
for it.
All right. So we don't need him. This isn't exactly an argument against the truth of God, but it is a reason to stop worrying about him. We don't require God. He's an unnecessary addition to the universe. And it can get along perfectly well without him. The most common two arguments that I've heard about God is that we need a personal savior or a caretaker, and that without him, we would not know what is morally right and wrong. Human morality is not brought into existence by God or the Judeo Christian Islamic system. We do not require a commandment to tell us that killing is wrong. We don't need the threat of eternal damnation to make us do what is right. To prove this, I only need out the most Western states operate on the basis of constitution and the rule of law, and have nothing to do with religion or the Bible or the Quran. Killing someone has legal consequences. The most normal people with a conscious regard, with the conscious regard, is as wrong without the need for a cosmic sky daddy to tell you what's true and what's not. Oh, but I hear you say, surely these laws and rights have a Islamic biblical origin. Do you really believe that? Do you think that pre-religious societies had no taboos? This is quite apart from the fact that many of the laws in the Bible are just wicked. We have not thankfully, or for the most part, transferred any of it from Leviticus, Deuteronomy into modern law. Those Islamic states who have the so-called Sharia law are widely considered zones of horror, in my opinion. Then, do we need God as a personal savior? Well, some people might. The idea of God might provide comfort or an explanation for the mysteries of the universe. However, it is misleading to say that he is needed. Many people survive and thrive perfectly well without God and the concept of religion. Me being an example, and you, Hadis, as well, obviously. We do not rampage or lose our way or become outcasts. And so, while certain individuals may derive comfort from a belief in God, as is their right, this is not necessary or sufficient condition for living a good life or even thinking that he is a true God. That's it. That's my rant. Just wanted to throw it out there.
All right. Maybe you should start doing a rap. I
Yeah,
don't know how good
I
you are.
guess. I don't know. I don't know if I can do a
maybe
rap, but
or maybe turn it into a song where the people will listen to it more. But anyway, thanks
yeah,
for
well, my
coming.
voice is not that good. All right, thanks, Addis. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, man. All right, folks. Who have we got next? We got 22 minutes. Who's swearing at Anna? Anna is a female. Oh, sorry, I mean Jetty. She's a Jetty. She's a Jetty Kudi. Don't anyone who attacks her, I will kick you out for life. All right, Pagan. Hello,
Hey,
Pagan.
Horace.
Hi, how's it going? What would you like to say?
I discovered your channel through a group called Group for Lumber One Memers.
All
You might be familiar
right.
with that.
Yeah. That. Okay. Yeah. Okay. What do you got?
Yeah, I've been doing your dirty work a little bit. I've been reporting them and shit. So yeah.
Right.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I just wanted to talk about mysticism real quick.
Right.
So what is your opinion on that whole thing? You know, the Eastern influences, because you see those mystic, you know, concepts and practices in every religion of the world, even Islam, like the most you can say orthodox or Char Devadi wala religion, you
Yeah,
can even
right.
find influences of it there. So what is your opinion on that?
Look, I mean, see, there are things that we don't understand in the world, whether that's where the sun goes around the earth or earth goes around the sun. There are things that we haven't understood for a while. Now, those challenges have progressed over the number of years, over the centuries, those challenges have progressed. 500 years ago, we didn't know whether sun went around the earth or earth went around the sun. Now we don't understand if there's what happens at the center of the black hole, or we don't understand what's beyond the visible universe. So there are different challenges now. Mysticism, to me, and some atheists disagree with me on that for good reasons, but I hopefully would have a better understanding of that at some point. To me, religions have actually they grabbed those things very well, those things we didn't understand. Hey, where did we come from? Where did the universe start? Aha, God did it, and I'm speaking to God directly. And that's what prophets did. Some other religions like Hinduism, obviously, they're a lot more complex and they have far better philosophy or better attempts to explain the universe or explain life, not the universe itself. I mean, universe can only be explained by science and through mathematics and modern observation. I mean, Egyptians were looking at the stars as well 5,000 years ago, and they also had some understanding. So there have been a lot more smarter people throughout human history, but those gaps that we didn't understand, people put them in religion category. And now comes mysticism. Now, human consciousness is such an amazing thing that we still don't understand. We won't understand for a long time. I mean, I have a theory that maybe one day when robots will become conscious, we might understand it then. But again, it's just a conjecture. I don't know. So why do we feel that we are where we are? We understand what's going on around us, and there's some other animals that too, but they don't have the concept of me, I, we. There's some other animals we believe that they are self-aware. Obviously, everyone is conscious. Every living creature is conscious. But what happens? Why do we have different state of minds? When we dream, what are we dreaming? When these neurons flow through our brain, what makes us realize that we are who we are? So that part, and people find that through meditation. People find that through psychedelic experiences. People find this, and there are different levels of consciousness. So we don't understand that, and that gets covered by mysticism. Now, there are mystics around the world. They've done meditation and yoga, and they can feel, okay, there's a different level. And you can artificially do it with some sort of a psychedelic experience. I still think, now this is the part where some people would disagree, some atheists would disagree as well, that I still say that this is, it's like an influence of a drug that is helping you do it. And it's still, at the end of the day, it's just arising from the activity of neurons in your brain. You kill your brain, that's it. There's no mysticism left. There's no spirituality left. There's nothing else. So it comes down to the activity of neurons in your brain. Now, how that works, obviously, we don't understand that entirely, and I think neuroscience will explain that. So mysticism, I have a little bit more respect because there is some science behind it, or there's a more complex things behind it, but religion absolutely not, because they filled the gaps with their bullshit stories, and now we know that those bullshit stories were bullshit. But we haven't discovered consciousness completely, so that's why we can't throw out mysticism.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like organized religion is more like a rule book and an attempt to control you, in my mind, than let's say mysticism, which is really about understanding life and not just telling you how it all started and what it all is. And you can find some of those mystic concepts in some of the Greek philosophers as well, right? The concept of meditation and that kind of thing.
Yeah. It's anyway. Yeah, that's it. My view on that. I mean, consciousness is something interesting, but I've spoken so much about it that it just bores me now, and I think it bores my people too.
Right.
Anyway,
what do you say about Sufism?
I had this Sufi guy here. I think I don't know. I mean, my definition of spirituality is lack of understanding of consciousness is called spirituality, because people come up with all these spiritual experiences. Oh, this is spirituality. This is, everything can be spirituality. I think all of that is tied down to your consciousness. So that's what when I read about, when I look into Sufis, the pure mystic Sufis are not even considered Muslims in that, by some hardcore.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. They bring in, some other influences of other religions and other cultures.
Yeah.
But when we talk about socially, they really, make the religion more peaceful, you could say.
Of course they do, but so do Ahmadis. Well, what does
yeah,
it make
for sure. I agree with that.
Does it make it true? I'm interested in true.
Yeah, it is dishonest theology, but it is, it does have an impact, and
Look, I am interested in, is it true or is it not? If I can't work it out, it's true. I'm not saying it's false, but I can't work it out as true. So I have a policy. I'm not going to waste my life on it. I have this 60 years, 70 years of life. Well, 35 is already gone, unfortunately. So I've got 35 years more left. I'm not going to waste it on some, oh, there is a God. I'm not gonna, like that guy. I'm not going to be talking to a wall and ask, show me the right way. Show me the right way. I'm not going to. Religions are just dead. They just make no sense. And spirituality, they're interesting. I mean, I've tried some meditation. I haven't gone fully on board with that. And I was in Amsterdam. I could have had a psychedelic experience there as well, but I had a speech, and unfortunately, I missed out. So when I go to Amsterdam again, I'm gonna try some sort of a psychedelic experience. My friend Vidu was with me there. He had it. Armin Nawabi was there. He had it. Oh, I don't know if these guys have public. Oh yeah, they have publicly said it. So they had it, and they were like, "Whoa, this is a different level of consciousness." They all these things have happened, and I haven't experienced that. So maybe my view will change towards it. But for now, again, religion is so dead. Religions just don't make sense anyway. But anyway, yeah. Do you have anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you very much.
Sharp and sweet. Thank you. Keep doing the good work. Keep reporting them. Keep doing the reverse jihad.
Yeah, we'll do.
All right, people. All right, we've got 12 more minutes left. There are two truth seekers. I don't know which one to pick. No name, my name. Yo.
Hey.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah. Oh, wow. I didn't expect that you'll get my call.
No,
yeah.
Well, I'm that either. I had a couple other people in front of you, but I don't know. Sometimes it just clicks. Sometimes when I like the name or no name.
Yeah, it's because I'm in Pakistan.
Sure.
Yeah. So I have one suggestion. Recently, I've been talking to my wife regarding atheism, not in an open sense, but I'm trying to put some ideas in her head, and she accepts it. But especially the one debate that you did with Hamza Ali Abbasi. So it was quite nice, and I think that if there are more that kind of debates on YouTube, that I can, put through put put her through on this.
Right.
Yeah.
So
So
but you think that that debate has some impact on her, like in a way, excuse me, in a way that she thought, maybe there's more to it. Let me look further into it. So did
y-
that trigger curiosity, and did that trigger her to look more into it?
yeah, more than that, she
All
started
right.
talking openly. So I
Ooh,
I told her to calm down. I've been dealing this kind of thing like since 2008.
wow.
So yeah, so I need kind of more material. I've tried the one
Right.
with
What about my book?
no, I think it's I think there is a meter that
My
that
book is
gets
very
that.
my book
Yeah.
is very, very calm, actually. Some people have told me, that some people say even Ibn Barak's book is very lot is harsher than my book in comparison.
Yeah,
So it's actually not even that harsh.
yeah, I think much better that what kind of mindset you were in, but when you were talking to Hamza Ali Abbasi. So I'm asking you that if you can suggest some more materials regarding that.
Right. Right. Look,
She tends to pick that up quite easily. The other topics,
right.
where you and other people start making fun, and then she goes off completely.
All right. So
Yeah.
she doesn't like my nasty side.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Look. All right. Let me respond to that. So this is quite interesting because those of the English audience who don't know, Hamza Ali Abbasi is a wonderful human being, but he's a modern Muslim. And I had a debate with him. He's a massive movie star in Pakistan. So big name. And now he recently came out as, I used to be an atheist in my youth days when he went to, I think he studied in America in a university. And then he said he was an almost atheist at that point, and now he's come back to Islam. So he had a debate with me, more like a conversation. And I was a little bit starstruck in a sense, which I didn't realize because I don't follow Pakistani showbiz, but he's so nice and so charismatic that chat is in Urdu, by the way. He's so charismatic that I have a weakness that when someone is nice to me, and then just I can't, I don't want to disagree with them. That's my problem. So anyway, so he was very nice. So he spoke with me, and a lot of people criticized me that I didn't get him. Not that it was my purpose, but maybe like Mujtaba, like how I stuck to my guns with Mujtaba, the first caller. I wasn't like that to Hamza. Maybe back in my mind, it was like the same moment that Sam Harris had it with Ben Affleck. Like it's just like this big superstar sitting in front of you, and they come at you, and you're like, "Listen to me, sir," and they're like, "No." But Hamza wasn't like that. Hamza was actually the reverse of Ben Affleck. He was very nice, but so I got criticized a lot by a lot of atheists that I didn't do well in that debate or conversation, and I listened to it. I was like, yeah, I did let him speak a lot more. That's true. He spoke a lot longer than I did. And but I don't think anywhere I did not defend my point. So I thought that I'll judge it on that metric. Because a lot of Muslims go there and they troll and they say, ha ha, Hamza bhai, you shut Haris up, ha ha ha. So that's fine. So we know that there will always be people who are atheists who would say Hamza was wrong. There would be Muslims who would say Harris was wrong, and we'll have two sides. So I always thought that would happen, but I thought no, that's not the right measure to measure it. There's not a right scale to measure it. So I thought, okay, I will wait for a day when some Muslim will come to me and say, after watching that debate, I started looking at religion differently. I'd be like, oh, okay, so after that debate, okay, so I did do something good in that debate. And then on the other hand, I would also like to see if someone would say that some atheists would say, oh, Harris, I listened to that debate from Hamza, and now I'm going back towards Islam. I've had some people, I'm not going to say a lot, I've had some people who said, oh, that debate with Hamza, they told them about me, and then now they started listening to me more, and they read my book, and they're like, okay, all right, this guy is saying something. And now obviously on camera now this guy is saying that his wife watched that debate first, and then that triggered a curiosity. So she didn't become an atheist by looking at that debate or watching that debate. She started looking into things. So that's what we do, and that's the purpose of it. But I am yet to see a single atheist who would say, I watched the debate, I used to be an atheist, and now I'm a Muslim. So, we're doing something. So sorry for rambling on for a little bit. But yeah, look, I mean, as far as your wife's concerned, unfortunately, look, I mean, she can watch all the debates that I do with Muslims. Maybe she can come to the show as well, and she can ask me some questions, because I know people don't listen to family members as closely as they listen to someone else. So maybe she can ask some questions. Not that I'm a guru or a Pir Baba of atheism, or a prophet of atheism. Oh yeah, maybe I am that, in Pakistan at least. All religions are geographical, so I'm a prophet in the Pakistani Indian subcontinent. 600 million people, 600 million Muslims live there. Anyway, so she can come, and maybe she would ask something that there would be some questions, there would be some parts that would be just making her stay as a believer. There won't be many, but there would be some, and then she'd be like, aha, okay. I don't claim to have the answer, but I might try. It might trigger it.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much. Last thing I add, I'm an atheist, and this is since 2008. I'm speaking to someone else, so it's
Right.
quite a different feeling.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ciao. All right, folks. Last call. There are two truth seekers. I don't know which one is which. Oh no, hang on. The other one's gone. So there's one truth seeker. So let's just take him. All right, truth seeker.
Truth seeker.
I can hear myself.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Am I supposed to mute it? Okay.
No.
Okay.
When you're talking, don't mute.
Well, okay. Firstly, I'm very, very excited, and I'm just trembling right now, because I was actually I've been watching you for months, and it's just you've brought about a revolution in my life. I'm a young doctor in India, and I don't know whether I'm supposed to be saying this, but oh my God, you guys have just changed my life. I grew up as the most religious person in my family. I come from a conservative family in the Gulf. And last year, I was a Shia Muslim. And then, because I'm a truth seeker and I'm true to my word, so I watched lots of videos, and I realized that the Sunni version of Islam, and even in the Sunni version of Islam, the Wahhabi version of Islam is the closest to the real Islam. Today, I know that's ISIS and Taliban. That's the most amazing thing. But that's the craziest thing that anyone could ever think of. But yeah, last year, I started watching The Apostate Prophet, and I became an atheist, a closet atheist. I'm a young doctor. I have my duties right now with the coronavirus thing. But I have to say that, after watching The Apostate Prophet, obviously, I mean, I could identify with him, but, coming from a different niche of like the subcontinent kinds of Muslim that we are, it's hard to culturally identify with him. So when you and Mr. Galib, who you referred me to, and Spartacus, but mainly you, thank you so much for, you don't know how many people sitting in their rooms who cannot tell another soul about their feelings, and then you speak about something, you speak about other things which affects us daily in daily life. And really, thank you so much for helping us through our day. I come from the hospital after long hours, and thank you so much. That's all I have to say.
Well, first of all, let me say thank you very much, because thank you for speaking to us, because I love British accents. It's just, I mean, it's just so makes you sound so sophisticated. It just, whether it makes sense or not, it's just because if it's in a British accent, it just sounds so much more legitimate and more interesting. But anyway, so and also thank you very much for the work that you're doing as a doctor, especially in this difficult time. And we've seen so many people, so many doctors have actually been infected and lost their lives. And while people like us, we had a luxury that we're safe at home, we can be isolated and, wait for this to ride it out. But you guys are at the front line of it. So thank you very much as a doctor, as a human being. Now, look, that's amazing. That there's nothing better than listening to people who say someone or you had some sort of an impact. I understand in these kind of things, but nobody can. There's no person, like, even though I get a lot of messages where people say, "Oh, thank you, you helped me, you changed my worldview or whatnot," but I know it's not just credit just doesn't go to one person in any sense. Like you said, Apostle Prophet, and yeah, you would have watched Abdullah Samir as well. You would have watched Abdullah Gondal as well. You would have watched Ali Rizvi and Amin Nawabi as well. You would have watched some of me as well. So you don't know which one. Yes, we do tend to make favorites. That who is my favorite one? Apostle Prophet is at the top right now. And so that's just it's just there's nothing better to hear than hearing young educated people like you. This is what makes me so happy and proud, that it's the educated people who end up living, who end up basically is battling your in childhood indoctrination. And you've got to be really mentally strong and intelligent to overcome that. The people we've heard, the people even now, intelligent university students and or beyond, they're saying that none of that makes sense. The religion, the Islam doesn't make sense to them, but I am still worried or scared about the hellfire. See, it's such a strong indoctrination that they've done to kids that they just can't let it go. But you gotta be really brilliant to overcome that. So that's why I think these guys, people like you, are actually very intelligent and brave as well, because you can fight. It's not easy, Like, I mean, I don't know if I've said it before or not. In when Terminator 2 movie came, I don't know how many of you people have watched it, if you're young ones, but it came out in 92, and I watched it probably in 95, 96. I was about 12, 13 years old. And there's a scene when Sarah Connor, when she is with the Terminator and John Connor, and she just falls asleep on a bench, and then she sees the end of the world. And there's like this nuclear attack, but I couldn't work it out what it was. And the buses are flying, the buildings are flying with fire, and it's a very scary scene by the standards at the time. And I dreamed about it for so long, because that somehow in my mind sat as that's what hell's gonna be. But apparently when you read it, then you're like, oh, no, that's nothing. That's just a walk in the park. Hell is a lot worse than that. You don't die in hell, but you keep feeling the pain. So that's a lot. That was hard for me to overcome that, even though my rational mind was overcoming all of that, and it just wasn't working. So, but eventually, that's why I tell people, eventually that fear does go away as you become more and more practical in life. And I hope you said that you're a young doctor, so I'm glad that you don't have any such problems. You might have had those problems in the past, but you've overcome them. I'm so happy that you've come out of it.
Thank you so much, Harris.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming, Pep. All right, folks. All right. 2 hours just clicked. Last call. Got to take a last call. John Cena. Now you see me? I can't see you, John Cena. No. Sorry. Waste of a last call. What about ex-human?
Hey.
What are you? What are you now? Are you an alien or something?
Yeah, I'm on Mars. I'm on Mars.
But you're still a human, though. You still speak a human language.
Yeah, I can speak. I was just searching for an interesting name.
All right. So yeah, well, that got you. That got you on. So what would you like to say? It's just the last call, so please.
I just want to say that Islam is made for Islam was a revolutionist at first, because I saw that movie. I think that propaganda movie, The Message.
All right. Yeah.
So I think it was a revolution at first because there were so many people. They were. Excuse. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Come on.
Yeah. So they were worshipping multiple gods. So there was a new idea that God can be only one. Can be one. So this thing clicked me, but it got corrupted after that. according to me.
Yeah, but the problem still is, I mean, it's not a unique idea that there's only
Yeah.
one God. Even Muslims now say it. They've actually shot themselves in the foot because they misunderstood the atheistic argument. When Muslims say, "Hey, there's so many gods, which God is the right one?" and they thought that we're asking, "There's so many gods," but then they answer. You know how they answered? They answered this by saying that, "Yeah, there's so many gods, but in all cultures, there's always one God. At the end of the day, it's only one God." So. And this
Yeah.
is exactly our question: that which one is that? Is it Allah or Yahweh or someone else? How do we know what you're saying, the Quran one, that's the right God? Fair enough, there's only one God. Okay, maybe there is only one, but which one is it? So now they're saying because they've said that, oh yeah, in all other cultures there's only one God. So they're saying, so even the concept of Tawheed or one God is not unique to Islam. So what's so special about Islam? If other religions have said that there's one God, then okay. That's fine.
Yeah. But
so
for that religion, but for that area, I think that was revolutionary.
Yeah, maybe. No, but Jews and Christians were also there. You know, there are a lot of things that work because of that worked in favor of Islam. Muhammad, in his lifetime, he had barely made it out of the Arabian Peninsula, so he barely did anything. So Abu Bakr went into Egypt.
One more point that they included Christianity into their religion. I think that was a political move, I guess, because they want to get support from Christian kings.
There is a whole verse of they're called satanic verses, and apparently those were deleted, and some Muslims don't agree with it. According to so there were satanic verses which were actually made to include the pagan gods as well. Pagan gods were included in to because it was a political message, like, okay, let's get everyone on board, and they thought, okay, let's get Jews on board as well, and Christian. Hey, we have the same God, right? So that was a good political move. Muhammad was very clever, and it did pay him off to some extent. And then Jews were a lot clever. Jews were like, no, we don't buy your nonsense. So yeah, I mean, it's just a very ordinary religion with very ordinary ideas. There's nothing special in it. I mean, I just don't see anything special. But the only reason why it became so successful because of the conquest. As I said, Muhammad's time, he barely made it out of Arabian Peninsula. It's just after the first 4 caliphs, they went into Syria and Egypt and Persia and further up in northwest. So, anyways, that's just anyway. That's
and same goes for black people. They use them as a manpower.
Yeah, it's a totally different topic. Well, anyway, thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Aris. Thank you, Aris.
All right, folks, this is it. And somebody asked a question, Harris, what do you think about UFOs? I always wonder, I don't know who said it. I think Michio Kaku said it, or Neil deGrasse Tyson said it, or some other celebrity scientist said it. He said, UFOs is such a monumental thing, but why are they always seen by lunatics? Like, I mean, yeah, there are some odd examples here and there, like a police officer saw it and then they realized he was actually looking at Venus, the morning star, and some people get deluded. And UFOs, I don't think there are any UFOs. There's no, again, as I said, it's my policy. If there's no evidence for it and evidence can't show me it's true, I just can't believe in it. Even though it might be true, but it could be true. I'm not saying it's false, but I'm saying because there's no evidence, I don't believe in it. I don't believe there are any UFOs. It just defies so many commonsensical questions. First of all, those aliens are not going to be so stupid that they will be caught by your 1950s technology, or they would crash and then they would let you take their aliens out of the UFOs and do experiments on them. They're not going to let you. If a alien civilization that has covered thousands of light years, they could probably destroy our own planet, our whole planet. They could probably do that. So they're not going to let some geek in Nevada do experiments on some alien. It's just not going to happen. Now, the other point is, oh, no, maybe they were trying to give us hints. So maybe they wanted to be known. Okay, if they wanted to be known, they can land right in front of the White House. Same argument as I give it to God. That he can come in front of the White House and tell us, hey, my real name is not Yahweh, my real name is Allah, or vice versa. So same thing with aliens. So it just doesn't make any sense. if they cover all, they are so far advanced. If they cover so many thousands of light years, they are type 2 or 3 civilization. We're type 0. They will have us like that. So I don't think there are any UFOs. Okay, are there any other follow-up questions on UFOs? The US government declassified the videos. Yes, but they're not of UFOs. They are own experiments that they've declassified. They've talked about it. There's so many people who come out. There's nothing declassified about the actual alien spacecraft. There's so many other things that US does. So US government, if it does something shady, right? If it does something shady, it's gonna hide it. So just because it's doing something shady and hiding it, doesn't mean that you can throw in your shady thing and say, aha, the government is hiding it. So it just doesn't make sense. It's not right. So I'm sorry, Duke, I don't buy it. Yeah, that I think that's just playing with words. UFOs are unidentified. It means nothing. So we don't even know. It's unidentified. So how do you know that it's a UFO? Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson said it really funny. He said, when someone says, hey, I saw a UFO, what does UFO mean? UFO means unidentified flying object. Okay, so that's what it means. Unidentified flying object. That's where it ends. It doesn't end. Oh, because it's UFO, I can't identify it. It must be an alien spacecraft covered thousands of light years only to show me that it exists. Yes, it doesn't mean that. Unidentified flying object means I don't know what that is. It could be a secret military experiment. It could be a morning star. We know people have been fooled by Venus. And it could be you might be high on hallucination or something. And there could be anything. It could be anything. You just don't know. But anyway. Oh yeah, people have been talking about Harris. What's your academic background? Is this science? You definitely, you don't need. I'm not talking about promoting, or I'm not giving a lecture on the structure of an atom or a string theory or M theory or what this and that. I'm not doing any of that. I don't claim to be a scientist, but I do read a lot of scientists. I do read a lot of books written by scientists in popular culture as well. Popular books, and I do understand something about it. I don't need to be a mobile phone maker in order to talk about the features of mobile phone. I don't need to do that. So it's a very bad logic. Yeah, I just don't get it. Anyway, bad argument, buddy. You're gonna have to do better to dismiss me. You're gonna have to do better than Harris. What's your academic background? Because if I was talking about, let's say, M theory, then you could come as a physicist and you could say, hey, Harris, by the way, that's what M theory is. And I'd be like, oh, okay, because I wouldn't have anything to come back at. So, but that's why I don't do that. Religions, on the other hand, are very interesting. Religions are actually, by definition, are made for ordinary people to understand. And it is a pretty ordinary thing, religion. Yeah, you can go into further things. Anyway, I don't know what you're saying, but so religion is like reading Harry Potter. It really is, and you can make a universe out of that. And well, we have a thing called Marvel Universe. You can give one main idea of comics, and you can make a universe out of it. People debating who would win in a fight between Superman and Incredible Hulk. I know they're different universes, but I've looked into it. People go into so much detail from the comics from the 50s that Superman could do this. He did that in one little episode, and Hulk can do this in that little episode. So now that they've complicated. So when the original designer was creating it, he didn't even think of any of that. But now it's out there. So that's what religion is like it's comics. That you've created it. Now the scholars and the modern believers, and they are so desperate to believe in it that they just expanding it further and further into it. And that's exactly what we see in the Marvel and DC universe. Anyway, folks, this is it. I think I rambled on for about 2 hours and 15 minutes. Thank you very much for everyone who came in the show, and yeah, I'll see you next week. Science Hafiz.